We'll meet again. Don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds away. And won't you please say hello to the folks that I
Mr. Fulton, to the stage, please. Mr. Milroy, to the stage, please.
all together now.
Here we go again, Josie.
That's where we're going.
But I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Hello there!
Hello
there!
Ah, thank you most securely. Oh, what a wonderful reception that was, I must say. I mean, I must thank you from the bottom of my heart, and of course Francie's bottom as well. And I would just like to say how delightful we are for to be here tonight and have this opportunity of exposing ourselves to you. That right, Francie?
Sure, Josie, sure, Josie, sure. Magic.
Oh, my things, that was some greeting, wasn't
Oh,
it?
it was just magic.
What a greeting.
What?
A damn sight better than the greeting we got the first time we were in this theatre.
Oh, aye. There's only two folk turned up. And we were all greeting. Of course, Josie, that all changed when they put us on the telly.
Oh,
Remember
the power of television. That was way back in the 60s.
The 60s.
Yeah, it was way back in the 60s, the 60s were amazing, you know, weren't they?
You're right, Josie. The 60s were pure neuralgia.
Oh,
Pure neuralgia.
that's nostalgia, Francie. Nostalgia, aye. Neuralgia's a kind of pain in the neck.
That's what I said. Pure neuralgia.
How did you not like the 60s?
No, I didn't fancy it. You know who let us down?
Who?
The Teddy Boys.
Oh,
The way they dressed on was ridiculous.
ah. It's embarrassing, that.
It wasn't it?
Oh. And the hairdos they had.
Aye.
You know, they never washed their hair, these fellas.
That's right.
Never washed their hair, just went in for an oil change.
And what about the Teddy Boy went into the barber for a haircut, and he said he wanted a pattern right across the top of his head, this way, from ear to ear.
He's a part what side he was?
Aye.
What happened to him?
He get fed up, folk whispering up his nose.
Mind you, we were never Teddy Boys.
Not really.
A lot of people made the mistake of thinking we were the Teddy Boys. We were the Tony Boys. See? I mean, these suits have been especially made by Mr. Ralph Slater himself. Right. Personally,
Yes.
by his own horn.
And I threaded the needle.
See, in the old days, you see, that we were called Tony Boys because these suits were cut in the Italian style, as seen in the Italian Riviera.
Lads.
Lads.
Oh, Josie, mind the hot pea specials at Lads.
Oh, I wonder.
And they served the fish suppers in wee cardboard trays in order to keep the grease off the holding on. And Josie, remember the night we walked into Nardini's and we actually sat inside?
Aye.
What a thrill!
Oh, it was the first time we'd never been flung out.
And Josie, that's when you introduced me to coffee with dromedary sugar. See? It's the first time I'd ever had it.
Had what?
Coffee with dromedary sugar.
Oh, aye. Did you have one hump or two? I'll tell you another thing. It was you that introduced me to Chinese food.
That's right, I did.
Remember that? We took a couple of birds into the Chinese restaurant.
That's right. But remember, we took these lasses in before you went in. You took cold feet, you said to me, Francie, I am not having a chinky meal. I am going to have a fish dipper.
Well, I didn't fancy the notice in the windy.
What was that? I never see it.
We don't remember the big notice in the windy. Salmonella, the way your mother used to make it. And I'll tell you something else about that. There was no salt and pepper on the table.
Oh, we know about that. Oh, the
Well, I
fish
like
you kicked
salt
off.
and pepper
I
on my
know.
fish supper, if you don't mind.
But the fish
And
you
could I
kicked
get a
off.
hold of the waiter?
What was that?
Well, you remember, I was trying to catch the attention of that young wee chinky waiter, you know, the one with the funny walk. And I was wanting him to come over here and get,
The wee, what was that you said today? The wee chinky waiter with a funny walk.
Ah.
You didn't do that last night. Josie, that's a whimper. Keep it in, keep it in. That's really a stoner. The wee chinky waiter with a funny walk. Do you know? Do you know, see the connection? You know how the Chinese cook with a walk? And I'm thinking about this wee Chinese waiter with a funny walk. I'll keep it in. I'll mind you tomorrow night, I'll go W-O-K.
That's not how you spell walk.
What do you mean?
W-A-L-K is walk.
No, it's a walk. It's a thing they use for cooking with. It's a kind of tin base with a handle. And the island, a wee drop of rice. 3 minutes later, flag lights. That's how I laugh, because you said the wee Chinese waiter with a funny walk.
Are you trying to tell me the Chinese walk different for us?
No! Just the way you said it. It was just the wee Chinese waiter. And I kept thinking of this like a good way. The wee Chinese waiter with a funny walk. Oh, you come out with some stone, doesn't it? Oh, keep it in. It's a funny. No, it wasn't funny at all. It was funny.
All I wanted was salt and pepper.
We know that. The blooming fish you kicked up with the salt and the pepper.
Yeah.
We drop a wee salt. Listen, it was me that fixed it up.
Well, you were the only one that spoke Chinese.
I'd been there before. I called the other waiter over, and he came right up to the table, but he didn't have a walk. He was stood there.
How the hell can he get to the table if he didn't walk?
Josie, what I'm trying to tell you, the only folk that use walks are the folk in the kitchen. You know, the chefs, they use a walk. But the waiters, they don't have a walk. They just have a pad and a pencil to take your order. So when he got to the table, I says, "Hey, Wong." I knew his name, I'd been there before. I says, "Hey, Wong." He says, "Where you are? Where you are? Where you are?" I says, "I'll tell you where you are. My pa wants some salt." He says, "You want salt? You want salt?" Might have been in his right hand trouser pocket. And he grew a wee drop of loose salt. And he sprinkled it on your fish. And I says, "Wong, when you're here, what with the pepper?" He says, "You want pepper? You want pepper?" In his left-hand trouser pocket. He fiddled about and he got a wee drop of loose pepper, and he sprinkled it on your fish supper.
Just a good job I didn't ask for the vinegar, eh?
Josie, you wouldn't have got vinegar anyway. He didn't have another pocket. Oh, but Josie, that was a very romantic night. The two girls in that Chinese restaurant, a candlelight dinner, a young chow fried rice, and a gin and persil. A gin and persil. To clean the mouth out. Hey, Josie, I must ask you, we keep doing this, the two of us, we call them birds. They're lasses. Why do we call them birds?
Oh, the birds.
Aye.
Well, that goes way back to primary school.
Primary school?
Aye.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, remember in primary school we got sex lessons.
Sure.
Now remember the teacher giving us lessons on sex.
Sex lesson in primary school?
Aye.
Oh, but Josie, that was just theory.
I think that's as far as you're supposed to go in primary school. You know, remember the teacher was trying to explain the difference between the sexes.
Between the sexes, right?
Ah. So she used what you call an analogy.
Good.
And she was trying to give the example by using the birds and the bees as examples of the difference in sexes. See? And that's how the lassies got the name of birds. That's why we call them birds. Because they were the birds and the boys were the bees.
Well, you see, it's a long time since I was at school. I can't mind about it. I mind vaguely something about the birds and the bees, but I can't just...
You got awful confused.
No, I didn't get... What do you mean?
You did. You didn't know whether you were talking about a bird or a boy or a bee or a lassie. You know.
Josie, that's a lie.
You were.
I never got confused at all.
Of course you did.
How do you mean I got confused?
Well, what was it you did the first time you took a lassie to the pictures? Go and tell them. Tell the China.
I took her a box of worms.
A box of worms.
Now, Josie, I wouldn't have brought that up.
No, but she did.
No, she didn't. Right on, my good trousers. I'll tell you something, Josie. There's nobody to tell me that I don't know about the birds and bees now. I know all about them.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about that.
No?
You weren't all that happy with that wee lassie you met in Largs.
Oh, that was Sandra.
What was that her name? That's a common name, that. Every Tom, Dick and Harry's called Sandra these days.
Wee Sandra was all right.
She was 18.
That's right, she was just 18.
She was 18 stones in weight. Never seen such a fat wee barra in my life.
Oh, she was fat. But she was, although she was fat, she was very approachable.
From every direction. Do you know she couldn't have elastic round her knickers?
The elastic knickers?
No.
What did she have?
Swiss rail.
Oh, but Josie, talking of birds, we met a lot of birds when we started with Francie and Josie in Glasgow, in the city.
The Glasgow birds.
Oh, the Glasgow
Especially at the jigging.
Oh,
very,
see
very
these
classic.
Glasgow birds at the jigging. They were nyucky. And mind the routine, when the jigging was over, we used to wait outside the women's toilet till they got their coats.
They always handed over their dancing pumps for you to carry for them. You
The
remember
pumps
that?
in the days, aye. And you could always tell Josie whereabouts the comfy with the newspaper with the wrapped in.
Aye.
If it was the Herald, the comfy giffnook.
I found that awful embarrassing.
You didn't like it?
No, carrying dancing pumps wrapped in newspaper.
I know.
I didn't like that much. In fact, I used to carry it very carefully, you see, and blow on it so as folk would think it was a fish supper. You know?
That's right, I minded that. Oh, it was funny that. And then when that was over, remember, that was the best part of the night. Remember, Josie, remember what we did? Remember, Josie!
Must have been hell of a good one.
Just thinking of it then. We walked them home to their tenement, into the close, up against the wall, for a snogging session. Eking up and doing the close booth.
Well, of course, I never done that.
Well, I know you were in the clothes.
I was in the clothes, aye. But I was more interested in her mind.
Her mind? What's her mind got to do with it? Are you standing there in your full regalia telling your old china that you never got anything up the back close?
Of course I did.
What?
The measles. Anyway, there's more to life than big suckers up a
Oh,
clothes.
there's no, the big sugar's more.
I like to discuss important issues with people.
Oh,
I like to talk about the meaning of life and that. It's the only way that human beings can pass things on to one another.
That's right. Well, that bird passed it on to you when she gave you the measles.
See, there's no point in talking to you.
I'm sorry,
Your
Josie.
brain contains nothing but a great superfluous hold. A big hold where all the superfluous bone matter has gone. And it's still up there. And you could have a lobotomy. That's where they cut the top of your head off to look in and see if there's anything there. But you wouldn't need the operation, because I could tell them.
So exactly just... This is very complicated. Exactly just... To get this done in the National Health. It's very... What does it mean?
It simply means that the house upstairs is to let. I mean, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Francie, but you are seriously lacking in culture.
Oh, there he goes again with this word, culture. Always talking about culture. Culture, always talking about culture.
Culture is very important. It is. You ask Pat Lally.
Pat Lally, Shakespeare.
I mean, have you read Shakespeare?
No,
Have you read Dickens?
no.
What have you read?
I've read pajamas. Ha ha! Got you there.
I'm talking about books, Francie, books.
Ah, a book.
You know what a book is?
Yes, that's something you take when you go betting at the GG's, Ladbrokes.
That's
Hell.
all. A book is a collection of small dots of white paper, all stuck together at one end. That's a book.
That?
Ah.
Oh, we've got one of them at home. We just keep it for friends.
And what's it called?
Andrex.
You see, there's only one way to describe you, and that is illiterate.
Josie, you cut this illiterate stuff out. Cut the illiterate stuff out. I'll have you know that my mother and father...
I'm not talking about your mother and father. I am talking about literature.
Oh.
I'm surprised at you, you know. I mean, a Scotsman, you know nothing about all the famous Scotsmen that were born in this country.
What do you mean a Scotsman?
All
I'm
the
a
famous
Scotsman, I
wonderful men in history.
Like who? Like who?
Well, what about writers, for example, like Robert Louis Stevenson or Lewis Grassic Gibbon?
There you are.
All the famous Scots that you could read about, but you never have.
Sure.
And of course, the king of them all.
Who's that?
Sir Walter Scott.
Sir Walter Scott.
Well, go on. Tell us what you know about Sir Walter Scott's works.
Sir Walter Scott's works.
Sir Walter Scott's works. Go on.
Scott's works. Aye,
Tell
well, wait,
us-
I don't rush us. I didn't know you were going to ask me these things. I'm no stupid. I'll get thinking now. Scott's works. What do they make? Why you laugh?
Sir Walter Scott's works, what do they make?
Aye.
What does Sir Walter Scott's works make?
Well, what do they make?
Scott's porridge oats, of course.
Sweet violet, sweeter than the roses, covered all over from head to toe, covered all over with sweet violets. There was a young miner who worked down the pits, who fancied a girl who had fabulous... earrings and lived with her folks in Lochgelly. The neighbours all noticed she had a big garden, although they were really quite poor. One of the residents called her a sweetheart, the way she looked after her folks. Her father was minging, he'd give you the sweet.
Sweeter than the roses.
Sweeter than the roses, covered all over from head to toe, covered all over with sweet violets. The farmer she worked for was quite thrilled to bits, 'cause just like the miner, he'd noticed her earrings and trained her to run his farmstead. The farmer was eager to get her to like him and put her in charge like a fool, 'cause one day he found she'd been milking the profits and made herself really quite rich. He called her a strumpet, he called her a sweet violet.
Sweeter than the roses.
Sweeter than the roses, covered all over from head to toe, covered all over with sweet violets. The next day the farmer was all teeth and smiles, explained he got angry because he had problems and asked if she'd like to be kissed. The young girl refused 'cause she knew he was puzzled. He sat her and called for a taxi. She told him to shove his jaw right up his. Jumper, because she was happy to quit. She belted him one and he fell in the sweet violet. Sweeter than the roses, covered all over from head to toe, covered all over with sweet violet. And so she returned to the boy in Lochgelly and offered her love and her rather large bank book. Young miner knelt to propose, then went out and bought her a ring for her finger, and with it he offered his heart. She got so excited she let off firework their wedding day. From that day to this they have rolled in the sweet violet.
All together, sweeter than the roses.
Sweeter than the roses, covered all over from head to toe, covered all over with sweet violet.
Great to be back in Glasgow, isn't it?
Oh, it's great back in the city.
Oh, thanks. What a place. I was walking around the town the other day there, you know, I was just thinking about all the beautiful buildings we've got.
Oh, lovely.
Really beautiful. Some of the buildings in Glasgow would take your breath away.
You're right, Josie. Like the fish market.
Well, no, I was actually thinking the old established buildings.
Oh, lovely stuff.
I mean, I don't think there's any reason to doubt why Glasgow has been defecated the city of architecture. A very strong Roman influence in Glasgow.
A Roman influence? I never knew that, Josie.
Aye, oh yeah.
I'm learning a lot tonight.
Well, they built a wall, didn't they?
They built a wall.
They built a wall. It goes all the way across the country, from the Clyde to the Forth, and it goes right through Glasgow.
Did you credit that?
Aye.
A wall.
A wall, and you can still see bits of that. Antonine's Wall, it's called.
Antonine.
If ever you want to see Runit, you ask for Antonine, he'll show you.
Antonine.
Oh, yeah.
Mad.
You see, what happened was the Romans, they belted up through England without any bother at all.
But good fighters, good fighters.
And then they got into Scotland.
Sure.
And about a quarter of the way up, they were stopped dead in their tracks.
Where is this, Josie?
Bearsden. They just couldn't get into Bearsden.
How was that, Josie?
Because they hadn't been invited. Do you know it was a monk that saved us from the Roman invasion?
A monk?
A monk, a Scottish monk.
He come from Monklands.
He come. Oh no, he came from Ayrshire.
An Ayrshire monk.
He was disguised as a singer. He went about disguised as a singer.
Like a troubadour.
Well, a troubadour
Good,
or a
good,
minstrel, aye.
good.
And he told the Bearsden folk what to do to stop the Roman invasion.
That was good.
He told them to dig great big holes in the road. Great big craters all over the road, and that stopped the Roman advance.
My God, that was a brilliant idea, Josie.
That wasn't it, huh?
And the holes are still there. Every street in Glasgow's full of holes. That's why they call Glasgow the Holy City.
You see, the thing was, they couldn't shift the Romans, you know, they couldn't get them out. So this monk,
Sure.
he decided to take charge of himself. So he whipped off his disguise, and he was revealed as one of the most famous and most loved monk ever. His name was Sidney the Divine.
My God, here's Sidney getting a walloping again. Sidney the Divine.
Aye.
And Josie, did he get rid of the Romans?
Aye, he sang to them.
Tiny bubbles. Well, Josie, I think that's a marvellous story.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did, every minute of it. I never heard that before. And do you think you can still see bits of this? Tony, what's his name?
Antonine's Wall.
Antonine's Wall.
Antonine's Wall. There's a whole lot of stuff like that that
It's mad.
Glasgow demolished and got rid of and all that.
They've knocked it to by that. As a matter of fact, I think they get rid of too many old-fashioned things that people really enjoyed. Am I right? Yes. The likes of you and me. Now. Wait a minute now. Listen, Josie. When I think about Glasgow, when I was a youth, what a bloody memory. When I was a youth, do you know what I loved about Glasgow?
What?
The old tram cars.
Oh, the tram
The
cars.
Glasgow tram cars.
Terrific. Everybody loved the tram
Oh, they
cars.
did.
And am I not right in thinking they're bringing them back?
You're right. Pat Larry's going to see to that. He's talking about it. And you know the length they were before? They're going to make them 4 times that. Great big long cars. You get in one end, you walk along, you go to the other end, and you're there where you were going. And the first car they make, Pat Lally's going to pull it round the George Square with his chain.
Well, I'll tell you what I used to like about the tramcars. The wonderful jokes they told.
Oh, there's some real jokes.
Oh, some terrific jokes about the tramcars, the conductresses and all that sort of thing. It was really typical Glasgow humour.
It was, Josie.
Oh, remember the jokes, the wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram, making you smile a penny a mile, causing all those traffic jams. Conductors rushing up and down collecting the fares
And shouting to the passengers, there's one inside, two up the stairs. Remember the joke,
the wonderful joke they told about the dear old tram.
Hey, Francie,
What was that,
remember the
Josie?
one about the sailor?
Oh, what was that one
You
again?
remember this sailor? He was sitting up in the top deck of the tram car with his kit bag and everything, ready to go abroad. And one of the passengers came across and had a wee word with him and asked him where he was going. And the sailor said, well, sir, as a matter of fact, I am heading for the China Seas. And thank God this is the worst of my journey over. Oh, remember the joke?
The wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
Oh, Josie, and what about the old man sitting gazing out the car window like that?
Oh, and the conductor came up and said, excuse me, sir, excuse me.
Yes.
Your wife got off 5 stops ago.
Oh, thank God you told me. I thought I'd gone deaf.
Oh, remember the joke?
The wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
I remember the one. This fella jumped on the tram car and he said to the conductor, "Do you go to? Could you take me to? Does this car go to?" Then he jumped off. He said, "It's all right. I'm there."
Oh, remember the jokes, the wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
Oh, Josie, what about the fella that jumped in the car and he says, conductor, how much is it to the Maryhill Road? He says, it's 2 pence. So he jumped off and he ran right behind the car for a good mile. Jumped on again. He says, conductor, how much is it to the Maryhill Road now? He says, it's 10 pence. You've been running the wrong way.
The wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
Oh, and do you remember the sad story?
What was that one?
That poor dear old woman.
Oh, aye.
She would never go upstairs in a tram car because there was no driver.
I love that. She would have got to a new driver.
I just said that.
Oh, aye, I said that. Oh, aye. I thought I'd heard it somewhere. Listen, Josie, you know the other one about the big woman, the big kind of fat one?
Oh, wow, what a size she was.
God.
She was a great big woman.
She wasn't big, she was huge. And the car was full, she couldn't get a seat. And the loudest voice you ever heard, she said, is there not one gentleman willing to stand up and let a lady sit down?
Oh. This tiny wee fella got out of his seat. He said, all right, missus, come on. I'll make a contribution.
Oh, remember the jokes, the wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
And Josie, what about the other one, the old woman? Oh, she's well over 70. Car was full, she couldn't get a seat, and she stood there for ages and ages and ages.
Oh, and one of the passengers got quite angry about it.
didn't
Got
have?
hold of the conductor. He said, conductor, he said, this poor dear old lady has been stoning here for I don't know how long, and it's time you did something about it.
And he did.
What?
He flung her off at the next stove.
Oh, remember the jokes, the wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
Well, you remember one about the fella who tried to get on the tram car with his dog?
Oh, that's a good one. Come on, Rover. Come on, Rover.
Oh, wait. You can't bring livestock onto a tram car.
How no? It's a public convenience.
I'm in charge of this public convenience.
I know you are.
You cannot get on the tram car with that dog, I'm telling you now.
Don't worry yourself. We'll go upstairs. The dog likes to see where it's
I
gone.
don't care what the dog wants, it's what I want that I'm concerned with now. You can't come on the car with that dug.
I'm going to tell you something. That's no a dug. That's a whippet.
Well, whip it to hell off the car.
Well, you know what you can do with your car.
If you'd done that with your whippet, you would have got on the car.
Oh,
Remember the jokes, the wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
they didn't have to take the pants over riding these days.
Oh, they
What about that fella sitting in the seat? And the next seat to him, there was the biggest parcel you ever saw. Huge, like that.
Oh, and the conductor came up and said, hey, excuse me,
Oh, what is it?
that seat is for sitting on, it's not for parcels. Get the parcel off the seat now.
And the fella says, no.
Listen, get that parcel off that seat. You've just been instructed.
No.
If you don't get that parcel off that seat, I'll fling it out the window.
I would like to see you try it.
Oh, would you? Well, I'll show you.
Good.
Here's your parcel. There it is, out the window. What have you got to say to that?
Nothing. It's no my parcel.
Remember the jokes?
The wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
Oh, and what about the very posh lady?
Oh, yes, that's a good
Very posh lady came on the tram car with her son. She said to the conductor, 1.5, please.
1.5. Hey, missus, you can't get a hot fare for a boy that size. That boy's wearing long trousers. That boy's 16 if he's a day.
I beg your pardon, I've only been married for 13 years.
Listen, missus, I'm here to collect fares, no confessions.
I have never been so insulted in all my life.
Have you never been to the housing department? I'm telling you, can't get a hot fare for a boy that size. The rules and regulations are hot fare only if you're wearing very short pants.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'll take the hair.
And a wee woman sitting in the opposite side says, hey. If that's the way you work, I'm due my money back.
Remember the jokes?
The wonderful jokes they told about the dear old tram.
Oh, but Josie, you know my favourite?
What's your
The
favourite?
big Highlander, big shooter, full kilt regalia. He sat in the car and he said to the conductor, a tuppenny one. And the conductor says, very good, sir, but you have to pay for your dung. I'll have to pay for my what? Your dung. I says, don't be stupid, man, you're a can. You're off a stupid, man, you can. Stupid, man, you can.
Somebody working you from the back.
Yeah, a stupid, man, you can. That's no a dog. That's my spawn. And a wee lady sitting opposite said to the conductor, do you know, I was very worried about that. Because I offered her a biscuit and they wouldn't take it. Oh,
Remember the jokes?
The wonderful jokes they told about the dear old, they told about the dear old, they told about the dear old tram.
yes! Fabulous!
Hey,
What was that, Josie?
you know what I've just remembered?
What is that?
Tomorrow's your Auntie Jessie's birthday.
It's no tomorrow. So it is. What will we get her this year?
What about a nice bottle of vintage Buckfast?
No. That's something better than that. I saw it advertised in the telly. It's made in Paris. It's a deodorant. And do you know the name of it?
What?
Vanish.
Vanish.
Vanish. She sprays it all out herself. She disappears. Then everybody wonders where the smell's coming from. As a woman, She sprays all over herself, disappears, then everybody wonders where the smell's coming. Auntie Jessie will love that.
Do we have to go to Paris for that?
No! It's made in Paris. They sell it in bushes.
Oh.
No, it's good. It's
Oh, well, I'm glad we've got that settled.
very expensive. Will you half it?
Certainly.
Well, there you are. That's it.
Well,
sale.
your Auntie Jessie was very good to us.
She was.
After all, she brought us up when both our families ran away from home.
And we've never been apart ever since.
No, that's amazing, that, isn't it?
It is.
Here we are, one Tim, one Proddy. One Tim, one Proddy, and two inseparable Chinas.
Marvellous.
China, we'll always be China. China, we'll always remain. Just like the bluebird when it's sunny weather. We know the sun will shine when we're together. Lonely, we'll never be lonely. Only if one of us strays. But we'll know happiness will always find us if we're Chinas till the end of our days. Da-da-da-do-do-do, Chinas, all belong to China. Chinas, all belong to me. Just look up at the blue sunny way. We know the sun will shine. Everyone will stray. But we know happiness will always find us if we're China till the end of our days. Oh, China, we'll always be China. China, we'll always remain. Just like the
Hey, Francie. You all right, Francie?
No, I'm not all right. I'm upset. I'm sorry, it just come over me. This has never happened before. Sorry, Josie. It just happened and I couldn't help myself.
Wait a minute.
I just
You
broke
can't
up.
start crying in the middle of a show.
I can cry if I like. It's made me cry. You know the old saying, Josie, the more you cry, the less you'll... I don't know the finish of that. That's lovely gloss, isn't it? That's Dulux. You got a big white dog with a brush in his mouth today, that.
Come on now.
That's terrible, Josie.
There.
sorry about that, honestly,
There.
No, it's not funny.
There. Now, tell your big China what's the matter.
Well, it's just when we were singing that song, Chinas, I started to think of our family, how they all went, how they all did the bunk, didn't they? The Mackenzies, my lot, they beat it, and the Tierneys, your lot, they got off their mark and all the brothers and all the sisters, they all left. It's terrible. They even took the budgie.
They had to hire a double-decker bus.
And the budgie went up the stair.
Well, that was the only one that smoked.
It was no good start in life.
Oh, but wait a minute, Francie. I mean, That was an awful long time ago.
I know, Josie, I know.
You weren't all that happy with your family, were you?
No, really, no.
I mean, especially your mother, Mrs. Mackenzie. Mrs. Mackenzie, your mother, she was right off the wall.
Mrs. Mackenzie was near my mother.
She wasn't your mother?
No, I just said that she wasn't my mother. I've never told this to anybody. But I was taken in one morning along with the milk. The same thing that happened to you. Somebody wrapped me in swaddling clothes and they put me in a wee basket along with 12 bowls of milk and 2 dozen rolls. And they whipped the lot in. And they didn't know my name, so they just called me the wee basket. You see the wee basket. And I had the label tied round my neck, and it said the label, "To whom it may concern, please look after this Wayne." And there was a PS, "Please return the basket."
He's nobody's child. He's nobody's...
Josie, don't sing that song. Please don't sing that song.
I know.
Makes me think of the Alexander brothers. Oh, Jack. I mean, it's right. The Mackenzies were a nice family, you know, they were kind. I mean, they took me in. Although they had 10 of their own already, they never noticed an extra Wayne.
No.
See?
And you'd make up the football team.
There was Alice, Bertha, Chrissy, Donna, Effie, Flora, Geraldine, Hazel, Ina, and Quits. Quits. Well, it seems that when Mrs. Mackenzie was having the 10th Wayne, she says to her man, "I'm calling this quits." That was the name. Quits.
And of course, she was deaf, wasn't she?
What? She was as deaf as a doornail.
Deaf as a post, that one.
That's where all the trouble started.
How do you mean?
Well, they went to bed at night and Mr. Mackenzie whispered in her ear, "Do you want to go to sleep or what?" And she said, "What?" And the atrocity started. That's when it started. Funny one.
Aye, right enough. It was our sisters you had.
I was brought up with 10 lassies.
I'll tell you something.
What was
I've
that,
never
Josie?
told you this before.
Right?
You remember the wee blonde one with the ringlets?
Mm-hmm.
I fancied her something rotten.
That was me.
You?
Aye. After a while, they don't call me the wee bass, they give me a proper name. They called me Francis.
Francis, aye.
With an E.
With an E?
And for 4 years they made me had me doing frocks.
Bro.
And had me doing knickers.
Knickers?
Aye. Mind you, when I come to think, I quite liked them. I felt kind of secure, you know.
Aye, they would keep me tidy.
And I did this. All compact.
Dear God. So it was you I fancied?
Hey, must have been.
Ah, James, just as well we're very good friends.
That's how
But
it
what on earth made them think you were a lassie?
Well, you see, it's Mrs. Mackenzie. It was all lassies she had, and she's that stupid. She thought all Waynes were made the same. That's the truth.
Well, I can understand that.
You know-
I mean, she must have, you know.
She must have gone.
She must have sort of, you know, she must have realised that there was something different about you, you know, that you were... She must have noticed.
No, she didn't notice. See, Mrs. Mackenzie, she hadn't time to notice anything, Josie.
No. And I suppose with 10 wains, Mr. Mackenzie wasn't exactly hanging about either.
Oh, he was.
But they must have given you a bath.
Oh, they gave me a bath.
Well, I mean, she must have, at one time, she must have had you on the edge of the sink, in the scud,
Right.
and she'd be washing you about with a washcloth, and you know, she must have seen where she was going, and realised that, you know, there was a wee extra.
Josie, that's the trouble, Mrs. Mackenzie. She'd never seen, she didn't know what like a wee boy looked like in the scud. And she hadn't the scud right enough in the sink, stood me up and slushed me down, and she knew where she was gone. And then, when she saw the wee extra bit, well, she just thought it was something left over from the umbilical cord. That's the truth.
So we're on the lost chord now. Well, when did they get around to understanding that you were a wee boy?
Oh, that's when I was about 5. I took the wind every day. The wind, something murdered all the wind. So they rushed me to the doctor's. I just got in 3 minutes into his room, and he jumped to the chair and he got a big pole. And I says, hey, you're not going to use that on me. He says, no, son, I'm just going to open the window.
So we're just 2 wee orphans in the store?
That's all we are. We're nobody's child. We're nobody's child. Just 2 wee baskets. We're nobody's child.
Hey, wait a minute.
What's that, Josie?
What was your basket like?
It was a grocer's basket. Samuel M. Dunn, grocer. Aye.
That was my basket.
No, it couldn't be. It's mine.
It was my basket.
How do you mean it's your
Well,
basket?
it was my basket after... See, what I think's happened here
Aye.
is the Mackenzies must have returned that basket, right? As requested.
They were asked to do
And
that.
it must have been the same woman that used the same basket to put me in it and leave me outside the Tierney's door.
The same woman.
We must have had the same mammy.
My God, the same mother. Josie.
Francie. We're twins.
After all these years, we just discovered.
Could you get us a chair, would you?
Twins. That's no way to treat 2 legends.
No.
What's this for?
Come on, just for fun.
What do you mean just for fun? You know,
Come on.
What are you doing?
Sit down.
Oh, I don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Climb upon my knee.
I've seen the lot new.
Climb upon my knee.
What's my name, Josie?
Funny boy.
Funny boy. What's my age, Josie?
I make you 53.
The hell are you laughing at? 53, having a lot of worry, that's how I look like this.
I make you 53.
What's my name, Josie?
Funny boy.
Funny boy.
Though there's no way of knowing, except your pension book is showing. Just the same as me.
What's my name, Josie?
Funny boy.
Funny boy.
When people say
What do people say, Josie?
we're dyeing each other's hair here,
Do they not know their wigs?
they've seen the glue.
What's my name, Josie?
Funny boy, why don't we own up?
Like what, Josie?
We've just never grown up.
Oh, now, Josie, that's a lie.
You know it's true.
What's my name, Josie?
Funny boy.
Oh, Josie, here's a hard one. Where do you think I came from?
You came from Govan, and I know your worth.
And when did you arrive, Josie?
When you were 7, I joined you here on earth.
Hey, wait a minute, are you trying to tell the punters I'm older than you? What we said,
We said it.
This we said, but this was secret. And what about the future, Josie?
When we think we're past it,
Oh my God. What have we got to remember, Josie?
that we shared a basket. 'Cause I still have you,
Josie!
Francie.
Funny boy.
Lovely! Get up! Magic. Oh, that's really
You know this, I am emotionally knackered. I'm going to lie down for 2 or 3 days. Oh, and don't forget your Auntie Jessie's birthday.
Oh, yes, I'll get them all. It's called Vanish. She sprays all over there. She disappears and everybody wonders where the smell's coming.
Wait a minute.
Did you get it? Vanish. She sprays all over there.
No, it's nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with the Vanish?
It's you and me.
What do you mean, you and me?
Francie, I'm sorry, I don't think we're even related.
No related. How?
Well, what was your basket again?
Samuel Dunn.
There you are. We can't be brothers.
How?
Sammy Dunn was Jewish.
Not married. We're not even related. Just through drink. But that was a very emotional segment, wasn't it? I mean, the Mackenzies and Tierney's running away and leaving. That's the truth. I was overcome with emulsion myself. Now, China's have a big surprise for you. You're going to enjoy this. I'm here to sing for you. Oh, thank you. And here's a wee note about this song. It's a lovely little song. It was written by a sewage executive. That's a high-class scaffy. And his name is Ahmed Pakora. Isn't that a lovely name? Ahmed Pakora. And he lives at number 18, the Perfume Gardens, Lahore. Lahore. And as we all know, that's French for well. We'll not go too deeply into that. Apparently, he rattled off this little song while he was shoveling Surely that can't be right. My God, it is. Well, somebody's got to do it. Well, here it is. It's a lovely song. It's called Hadda Curry. Hadda Curry. I was hungry. I was hungry. I was hungry last night. Could have eaten. I'm hungry. Really hungry last night. Fancy a curry. Fancy a curry. From an Indian restaurant. Last night, I fancied curry. That was spicy and strong. It was scorching. Really scorching. Like a torch in my mouth. Last night, my mouth was scorching. Really scorching. That's the truth. Biryani. Biryani. Could have buried me. Instead, it tasted like my sarnies. As my face turned bright red, ate it quickly. Ate it quickly. Far too quickly. Last night, I ate it quickly and felt sickly all night. Daily Bailey. And a curry.
Daily Bailey. Daily Bailey, last night, should have stayed in and watched the telly. Daily Bailey, last night, started sweat. Really sweat. As I came pouring down. Last night, I started sweating. I was sure I would drown. Began to worry. Began to worry. As I walked up the street, I was worried about what they'd carry. I just hoped it was deep. I was stumbling, tummy rumbling, as I walked quickly home. The way I was walking, you'd have thought I was lame. Had to hurry. Had to hurry. I was worried, you see. I was worried that the curry wouldn't come home with me. Started running. I was dunning. I was sure all was lost. Can you picture me running with both my legs crossed?
Isn't it great the thing you do for money?
Then I riffed it. Oh, I riffed it. Oh, I riffed it last night. Oh, I riffed it. Couldn't shift it. Didn't shift it. Last night. Consternation. 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 Last night. I don't mean consternation. Quite the opposite. Last night came the dawning. I was yawning. I've been up all night. And with dawn's early light, I decided I'd have a curry. I was at my head. Big finish. For my supper tonight. Thank you very much, all you curry lovers. A bundle of rubbish. And now, something really classy. This is really classy. Here he is. It's Josie. Yes, lovely.
standing aside. That was pure dead brilliant. And I've just come on to ask you if you'll do something, a big, big favour.
What?
Just one more time. Are you going to tell the Chinas their broth gag? Yes.
They are broth guys.
Aye.
Away for heaven's sake. I've been doing that for years.
No.
I don't remember it anyway. I don't even remember what I did last night.
You'll remember all right, and I'm here beside you. And just remember, this is your last chance ever. You'll get to tell them their broth gag. And he tells it marvellous too. Sure you want to hear their broth gag? Yes. Yes, proof.
If you really think so.
Tells it marvellous.
Well, listen, promise you'll no shout at me.
I'll know, Mammoth.
You know, it puts me off. Well, here we go then. One last time. How's it go again?
I went to Mr. Stewart, you told it a million times. I'll start you off. There was this chap, and he chapped at the door. And he says to the chap, the answer to the chap at the door, is your sister in?
Oh, I remember it now.
He's got it now. This is worth coming into here.
There was...
I'm laughing already.
There was this chap, you see, and he went to this door, and he chapped to this door, you see, and he was a plumber to trade.
What are you talking about? He's a plumber to trade. What are you talking about, plumber to trade?
Huh?
Who said he was a plumber to trade? You know what I'm going to tell him? Stay in the face. I'll tell you this right to your face. You know you're an idiot. You're nothing but an idiot. You're a big idiot. That's all you are, an idiot.
You said you wouldn't shout at me.
I didn't mean to shout, Josie, but I'm just trying to impress upon you the fact. I'm just trying to tell you. The fellow that chapped at the door wasn't a plumber.
He wasn't a plumber?
No.
Then why did he say to the fellow that opened the door, "How is your system?"
Josie, there's no immense thing about a system.
You said it. That's the way you told the joke. You were stunning there. And you said, this fella went to the door, and he chapped on the door, and he said, "Pardon me, how is your system?"
Josie, this fella's only been at the door 3 minutes, and you've got him installing a new system. This is when you always make the same mistake. You fall down at this. I think it's nerves. And he tells it marvellously. This is his best joke. Now, Josie, I'll tell you what I want you to do. Relax, calm yourself down, and just start all over again. And just remember, the fella that chapped at the door was the plumber.
Well, what was he then?
I haven't got a clue. Maybe he was there to get rid of a wasp bite.
Away and don't be stupid. Wasps can't go a bite.
I know wasps can't go by. That's not the point. It's this fella champing at the door. He's asking about his sister. His sister.
His sister?
Hey!
And the plumber wasn't there.
No.
So what you're telling me is that after all these years we've been doing this bloody plumber still hasn't turned up?
Josie, I'm going to let you into a secret.
What?
There never, ever was a plumber. There you are.
There never ever was a plumber?
No.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to say that it's this other fella, this fella who opened the door. It's all his fault. It's all in his imagination. He's been waiting for the plumber that long, he's become deranged. Every time he opens the door to the paper boy, the fishmonger, he doesn't see the paper boy, the fishmonger. What does he see? He sees a plumber. So tell me this, smart ass. How are we going to manage to get this poor deranged man's system fixed?
Oh, keep the heat. Don't lose the wool. I'll tell you what happened. You know what happened? They phoned the Samaritans. And they came and fixed his system. You quite happy now?
Oh, well, that's all right.
He's got it now. Wait a minute, it's
As long
marvellous.
as you've got the matter attended.
Has it finished? He tells it marvellously. This is worth coming into here.
Well,
Here he's starting.
there was this joke, you see, about this fella who went to this door, you see, and he knocked on this door, and he said, "Pardon me," he said, "but is your sister in?" You see?
Oh, stop, wait a minute. Stop. It's not a sister. It's not a sister. It's my fault. It's my fault. I made a mistake. It's not a sister.
Are you trying to tell me his sister's not here either?
Josie, I don't know where she is. I don't know anything about her. Maybe she died young.
Probably fell in the cistern and drowned herself.
Josie, this is where we make the same mistake with two of us. We're always at this point. Because the joke's no funny with a sister. The only way the joke's funny is if you say it's a granny. It's got to be a granny, that's it. There was this chap at the door, and he says, "Is your granny in?" We've got it now. He's got it now.
Are you sure now? You sure?
Sure.
I mean, this is the second time I've chapped that door and got no reply. I bet they're all up in the attic trying to get that woman out the cistern.
Forget about the attic, forget get women out of the system. Forget about the house, they've moved the house. Just chap at the door and say, "Is your granny in? Is your granny in?"
But which door do you go to? The one I've chapped or the one they moved to?
Just do it.
This fella knocked at this door.
There was actually two chaps, but don't worry about it.
There was two chaps. Well, that would be the plumber and the apprentice.
Forget about the bloody plumber and his apprentice. The time that you're taking to tell this joke, they thought I'll never get home tonight. There was two chaps, just carry on. Two chaps, carry on.
This fella knocked twice at this door.
No! He never knocked twice, he only knocked once.
You just said there was two chaps.
Well, technically speaking, that's right. There was this chap at the door, another chap answered the chap at the door. One door, two chaps, one door, two chaps. And he tells it marvellous. Just a wee bit off the night.
The Salvation Army turned up on this fella's door. They were collecting for the brethren. While they were at it, they gave the plumber a hand with a cistern.
Stop! I have never heard such a load of rubbish. You're making a right pig's bakes of this joke. Now, Josie, I'm going to tell you a joke once. I will not repeat it again. There was this chap, and he chapped at the door, and he says to the chap, the answer to the chap at the door, "Is your granny in?" He said, "No, she's at her broth." He says, "Don't you worry. I'll come in and wait until she's finished." He thought she was having a plate of soup.
Aye.
You've got it now.
I've got it now, aye.
Marvellous. He tells it marvellous. He's got it now. Marvellous. I love him telling this.
There was this chap, you see, at this door. And when the door was opened by the fellow whose door was chapped, he said to this fellow, he said, "Pardon me, has your granny finished her soup yet?" And this fellow said, "Well, no," he said, "as a matter of fact, we couldn't get the can open." He said, "We've lost the tin opener." And this other fellow said, "Well, don't worry about it." He says, "I'm going to your broth and I'll pick one up for you."
What the name of heaven are you talking about? Who told you this fellow chap at the door went to your broth? He doesn't even know where our broth is. Do you know where our broth is?
Aye.
Well, you better tell him. He hasn't a clue. Another thing, you couldn't care less about broth. Are you worried about broth?
Aye.
You seem to be. Everybody's gone near broth, as far as you're concerned. There's only one person at broth. Keep that in your mind. That's the granny. Granny or broth, granny, granny or broth, granny.
I'm sorry, Francie, I'm sorry.
What is it, Joseph?
Well, this is just the place. I sometimes go a wee bit wrong
You
here.
just kind of slip up here.
And I'm sorry if I've misled you.
That's
But I should have said, of course, it was actually the granny.
Yes.
Explain to me again. Why did the granny have to go to her broth for a plate of soup?
She didn't go to your broth for a plate of soup. That's a joke. There wasn't any soup. There wasn't any soup.
Oh, there's no soup?
No, no soup.
Oh, I'm sorry, we've run out of soup again.
Run out of soup.
No, soup's half.
Soup's half.
Definitely half. Aye, and but in the absence of soup, what the dear old granny did.
Tell me.
Well, she got yesterday's mince and she heated it up. She likes mince because she's lost her dentures. And she can suck this mince through a straw. And she's sitting there sucking away like man. Oh, and the mince is going everywhere. It's all over the walls, all over the ceiling, all over the table, all over the dug. And it's running down her front into her wellies. And the minute she gets up to go to the toilet, she skits in the mince. And she goes right in her elky, you know, and she has to swim.
Wait! Hey! Don't say another word. For 30 years, been trying to tell this joke, you've no any luck, you've no much luck tonight. You've got this granny, I've never seen her in wellies. You've got her in wellies. And she's got mince on the flare. And she's slipping all over the mince the way to the toilet. What's she going to the toilet for?
I think you should handle that inquiry yourself.
Look, I'm going to tell you something. The old woman, the granny, she never reheated yesterday's mince. And she didn't suck it through a straw, and she didn't lose her dentures, and it didn't go in the dug. So, there was no mince, there was no dentures, no dug, nor soup.
Oh, it was nor soup she had.
Yeah. Nor soup. I forgot who it was.
Well, I thought it was Cross and Blackwell.
Josie, when I say nor soup, I mean she wasn't having any soup. The old woman was her broth, a granny, but she was having nothing. She was having nothing. She was there, but she was having nothing.
You're so attractive when you're angry. Are you trying to tell me that poor old woman's away to your broth without even a sandwich?
I'm going to rain for it, because that's the joke. The joke is, was this chap at the door? And he says to the chap, answers the chap at the door, is your granny? And he says, no, she's at her broth. He says, don't you worry, I'll come in and wait till she's finished. He thought she was on a big bowl of soup with a ham shank in it. She wasn't having soup at all. She wasn't even there. She was way up the line to her broth. Do you know, see?
Francie, I've got a confession to make.
What is that?
I've never understood this joke.
But Josie, it's just the way you tell it. It's so funny.
No. I've never seen it. I don't know why it's funny. I've never seen anything till... Oh! I see what you mean.
He's got it now.
I see what you mean. You mean the Chinese cook while they're walking?
We dog and dog, just a wee and that's all. Just a wee dog and dog, a bonny gang more. There's a wee wifey waiting in a wee button bed.